My name is Josh Miltonberger, and I'm a lost Charette free trapper. I grew up in Warren County, Missouri, and I trap the north section and the south section. The north is more prairie, and I focus on coyotes and raccoons in the prairie. When I get down into southern Warren County, you drop off into kind of the upper boot heel if you basically in the Missouri River and all the tributaries that come to it. I started trapping when I was about 12 years old, and my ex-brother-in-law got me into trapping when I was 14. Caught my first coyote, and I set up the dirt hole set and put the bait in, did everything myself, and we had more sets out, but when I went out there the next morning and that coyote was standing there in that trap, it was a huge accomplishment in my life. I trap on lost Charette. There was a village there in the early 1800s. French fur traders, trappers, Lewis and Clark passed through. Coulter, Bridger, Daniel Boone. There's a lot of history down there. That's where I feel most at home, is on the water line when I'm in that area. And focus on beaver and otter, raccoon, muskrat, occasionally mink. Trapping to me is an art form that's lost. A lot of guys can go out in the woods with a high-powered rifle and shoot a deer at 200 or 300 yards, and you know, I understand that. But when you can focus in on a 4 to 5 inch circle within 10,000 acres and get that animal to come into that spot and work that area and catch it, to me, it's an art form. There's a lot that goes into it. As you get addicted to trapping, you learn sign. You see things that other people would never see, and it really opens your eyes to nature, and you see it in a whole new light. And every day's Christmas on the trap line. It's when you get there and that accomplishment's there, it's a great feeling to know that you got that animal to come into that little spot and you were successful. Trapping needs to exist for conservation purposes. We're conservationists. We're coming in, we're not decimating entire populations. We're coming in and we're culling out some raccoons and coyotes that, you know, that if they overpopulate, they get disease, they get mange. It's a horrible way to die. And when you get rid of the predators like that, your turkey populations start to do better, your deer populations, they'll do better, rabbit, quail. You try and balance it, and just taking a few out from every farm that I trap, it's helping nature balance itself. The coyote especially, it doesn't have any predators other than man. And without trappers or predator callers, they would overpopulate and catch disease. They would decimate rabbit and quail populations. I've seen it in areas where there used to be an abundance of other wildlife and no one traps anymore, no one coyote hunts anymore. And they're just tearing up the animal population. in my family is a long lineage of trappers, outdoorsmen. My fifth great-grandfather was a shodo, started the St. Louis Fur Company, and my cousin Clyde Sprick, who passed away in 2013, was a big influence. I never got to actually trap with him. He taught me a lot just by sitting down and talking with him. And I learned a lot. So I take all that I learned from Clyde and apply it on my line. And it's helped me tremendously. And if you're a young trapper, find a man like that and soak it all in, because their knowledge, it's going away. Not as many people trap nowadays because the prices of fur are so low, and they're just in it to make a quick buck. When you're passionate about a sport, you're deer hunting, fishing, trapping, we're not out here doing it for the money. We're doing it to get in touch with nature and carry on those traditions and those legacies of the old timers. So just learn as much as you can from those men. And if you can find a friend that knows somebody that traps, see if you can tag along with them. Don't just go out and buy traps and go set traps, because you won't be a trapper for very long. You'll get frustrated. It is a learning process over time. I learn something new every day when I'm on a trap line. But you do need a guide. You need a mentor to teach you. And even if it's just talking to them and listening and about how they make sets and their catches, their stories about the line, just use that and it'll make you a better trapper.